Peace, healing, and light, family, and welcome back to another episode of Healing with Angelica's podcast, where we discuss all things healing. And if you are new to the show, welcome, beautiful souls. So on today's episode, I got my sister here, my sister girl, Sister Akilah Nehanda is joining us today as we'll be discussing today's topic. Rhythms of Awakening, elevating minds through conscious music. Sister Akilah, welcome and thank you for joining me today. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing marvelous. How are you?
All is well by the grace of Allah, sis. I'm looking forward to today's episode. Thank you so much for joining me. And for those, of course, and for those who may not know who you are, do you mind letting our audience know just a little bit more about you?
Yes, I am Akilah. I go by Akilah Nehanda. Nehanda is my middle name. I am a performer. I am a teacher. I am a wife, a mother. I've been doing hip hop and R&B for over 10 years. I grew up, born and raised in Houston, Texas. Went to a performing arts high school for musical theater. Went to Howard University in Washington, D.C. after I graduated, and I majored in film production. And from there, graduated from there, HU, and then once I got back to Houston, I pursued my music a little bit more, and I ended up making an album called Paradigm, which is on all platforms, and continuously doing my music. And then in 2018 October, I got married, and 2019 October, I had my daughter. And it's been a beautiful journey. And I've been doing a tour where I've been headlining all across the country. My biggest show thus far has been in Manhattan, New York, where I headlined a concert out there at the Blue Gallery, and it was fabulous. And I'm basically just going and pursuing life in the way that God has told me. And that's
Oh my gosh, I love it, Akilah. That is so beautiful. My girl is out over the world, okay? She's doing her thing. I love it. Praise be to Allah. All right, now let's get started on today's episode. For my audience today, please do not hesitate to put any questions you may have for my guests in the comment section below. Please. Listen, my sister be busy. She got stuff to do. I put them questions in the comment section below, right?
And y'all might hear a 2-year-old in the background. I'm babysitting my niece. So if you hear a random that you know what it is.
Yes. They know. All right. So in today's episode, we'll be diving deep into how intentional sound and soulful lyrics can ignite transformation, guided by the beautiful artistry and wisdom of Sister Akilah Nehanda, as she will explain in going through her journey into the heart of conscious music, its root and its purpose, and its ability to inspire healing, liberation, and unity. Music is more than a hobby. It's a movement to awakening minds and elevating our people, right? Oh, I am so excited to talk about this because listen, sis. Okay, this is a blooper. Lord, the music nowadays is something else. And see, I'm not trying to make myself old. I'm not an old lady. I'm only 30, right?
Right.
But just looking at the music now, I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Insane.
So I'm so grateful for people like yourself. We got a lot of believers. We got Golden Child, just those people that's out here that is putting music out here for the minds of our people, right? So I want to go into you, right? So what inspired you to start creating more conscious music? Because you're more, I'm gonna say you're mostly a Muslim rapper, but you kind of categorize yourself as that. How has your journey evolved over time in that field?
So when I was in college, as you recall, I studied film production, but while I was in college is when Nicki Minaj started to become really popular with her mixtape. And I saw where everything was going by looking at the image that she was putting out. And I was like, okay, and it reminded me of like the Little Kims, because if you remember, I think her mixtape cover, she posed the same way that Little Kim did. I think that was the one. Or it could have been her album, and I was like, okay, so we're bringing that back up, which showed me that we now need representation of women who I'm accustomed to, around me, like the women in my life, my friends. And so when I saw what was happening, I saw the direction that female hip hop was taking, because she's very talented. Nicki is very skilled at lyricism, flavor, all of those things. I was like, okay, well, young Black girls are going to be drawn to her, attracted to that image. So I need to now show the type of imagery that I'm accustomed to, just so that there can be other options and other ways that our little girls and other sisters of all backgrounds can see women in hip hop. So that's what inspired me to start creating music. So I did my first music video on the yard of Howard University. I filmed it myself. I edited it myself. I got everybody to get in it myself. I put flyers all over the school to see if people can come. I think it was like a Friday on the yard. And on Fridays, that's when all of the sororities and fraternities are on the yard usually. So that's what inspired me to get in, is because I saw a need for a variety of different Black female rappers. As of now, like you said, the music and the music is so explicit now. However, I think now, because of social media, we see a variety now, you know what I mean? So we don't have to depend on mainstream radio and all that like we used to back when I was in college. And so that's the benefit of having the internet blow up the way that it has, and social media, because now at least we can see different type of rappers. So you see me, you see other Muslim rappers, so now it's expanded, thank God. So yeah, that's what inspired me.
I love that you went into just the understanding that there was a certain imagery being put out when Nicki, came about, and all the other rappers, even the rappers that we had before. But I would say more so closer to our generation, she was kind of, no, not kind of, she was up there. And you wanted to bring a different type of imagery. And when I think about that, even just when we hear things or when we see things, how it goes into our subconscious, and we we really display those type of behaviors and action in our day-to-day life. So do you mind just kind of just explaining, like, why is it so important that we understand the importance of conscious music for the elevation and mindset of our people, and why a certain imagery is important as well?
Well, when it comes to, even scripture says, guard your eyes, watch what you see, watch what you hear. It's because of what you just said and what you just explained, how it goes into our subconscious. And we think we are ingesting things consciously, but in truth, even the marketers know. That's why they have billboards all over the city when you're driving through, because they know that once you pass by that billboard after a certain amount of times, you're going to eventually notice it. And then it's also just going to be in your subconscious and you don't even think about it. I remember going into, it's a grocery store in Texas called HEB. And I was going there, and I went to the register to finish, buying my groceries. And the person in front of me, they wanted to order, I guess, some cigarettes. And I looked up because the person had to get the cigarettes from like a case that was above. Mm-hmm. I never saw that case a day in my life. I looked down the row and all of the things, what do you call the cash register areas, all of them had that case up top. Mm. But because I'm not a smoker, it wasn't even in my, I literally go to the grocery store every week. It wasn't even in my consciousness. Like, however, if I was a smoker, that would be one of the first things I would probably see. You know what I mean? So it's an interesting concept, but a lot of the things that we see, a lot of the things that we don't see, it still has an effect energetically, whether we think we see it, don't see it, it doesn't mean that it's not there. You know what I mean? So imagine the things that we are looking at with our eyes. And so music in and of itself, I know everyone has experienced this. You can maybe feel sad and then turn on one of your favorite songs and it lifts your spirits. It raises your vibration. Or it might be something happens where somebody passes away and then you turn on the radio and It's So Hard to Say Goodbye comes on by doggone Boys to Men, and you're crying because like, oh my God. And it just brings up all of that sadness that you were just trying to bury down. And so music, it has a powerful energy. It can, like the minister said, it can actually make you want to do some love making and put on some R. Kelly or whatever. It changes the mood of people. And so it can, if you listen to drill rap, it can make you want to go out and kill somebody. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just what it is. And so when you think about music, it's a matter of how are we going to use it as a tool to uplift and resurrect our people, since that is the mission of the righteous. What is the duty of the civilized man, right? And so if the duty is to teach the uncivilized, if the duty is to train and to be an example, then that means that we have to look at the science of music and see, okay, well, what kind of beats should I have? Should the beats have a vibration that's higher? Should it have a low vibration? What kind of 808 do I want to use? Do I want to make the people excited? Do I want to make the people feel militant? You can manipulate people through music. And so you want that music in the hands of the right people, because we know that Satan uses music as a tool as well to manipulate the way that he wants to manipulate. And so when you think about people like Michael Jackson, your vibration is raised. When you think about people like Bob Marley, your vibration is raised. You think about people, a lot of the 90s music, your vibration is raised. Even if you listen to like an old school hip hop, Arrested Development, a lot of their beats were very upbeat. So it's a matter of healing or destroying. Which one we gonna do? That's all that is.
Ooh, healing or destroying. I love that you said that. Praise be to Allah. I just want to give those that hop on a shout out. Sister Ebony, assalamu alaikum. Sister Tranisa, assalamu alaikum. Brother Hope, assalamu alaikum. Brother Matthew, Sister Tranisa, I said that, but please let me know if I'm getting your name wrong, girl. Me and names be like, Brother Reginald, praise be to Allah. And Brother Tyson, praise be to Allah. So I see here that we have a question here from our Brother Reginald. And thank you so much for that response. That your response went into my next question, so you kind of answered it. So we're going to go into the next question here. My Brother Reginald, your God brother, he said, knowing that your expression is authentic, how do you walk the fine line between your art and your life? That's a great question.
Shout out to Brother Reginald. He came to my concert in Chicago. And okay, how do you walk the fine line between your art and your life, knowing that your expression is authentic? Well, you know, let me see. It's because it's authentic, it's not difficult to produce the type of music that I produce. I am trying to find ways to be more vulnerable in my music. So, what I mean by that is to incorporate my life a little bit more in the lyrics, but do it in a creative way. So I'm still trying to learn how to do that, but it's just and I have done that a lot. You know, my music is about my life. However, I really admire artists who dig a little deeper when it comes to exposing certain parts of their life, but in a creative way in music. But I would have to learn how to have that line of like not giving too much, but, you know, also giving enough where the people can understand and relate to what I'm saying. Because in truth, because music is so universal, our expression, people usually can relate to it. You know what I mean? And so when I do my music, I definitely do keep in mind how people can connect to the songs. You know, I hope that answered the question. Oh, I'm reading
I
other
believe it did.
comments.
No, you're fine, sis. I believe it did. And I think even not even just music, just in general, because, we want to be able to, display ourselves in a certain manner and striving to have that balance and not being modest, I would say, in our approach on how we go about things. And I think even for me just starting out being in a nation, just trying to and I won't even say just being in a nation, just you being a person, you don't want to say too much, but then again, you don't want to hide too much of yourself because Lord, when I think about it, it's like, oh wow, praise be to
Yeah,
oh
it's a balance because it's like, man, you know, especially with social media, we are in an age of transparency, right? So it's like, okay, well, I'm supposed to be transparent so that people can feel connected, but we're, like you said, we're also supposed to be modest and security minded. So it's a matter of figuring out what that vulnerability looks like and really just allowing Allah God to show us the direction that we need to go, because he'll pull us back if we're doing too much, if we're connected to him, and then he'll tell us what we should be saying if we're properly connected to him as well. So the key to all of it really is staying connected to him because he'll guide our steps, you know.
say he guides our step each and every way. I know, and this is kind of off topic, but like anytime I'm feeling disconnected, not even anytime I feel disconnected, anytime I feel like life be lifing, I'm like, oh yeah, I done got disconnected from my life. I must have been missing some prayers or something. And like
Absolutely.
life will like show you like, hold on, wait, you're off balance. Get reconnected back with source, and he will always point you in the right direction. So if you all are enjoying this episode already, okay, if you guys are enjoying this episode just as well as I am, first and foremost, I need you to put them fire emojis in the comment section right now. Don't wait. Put it in here right now because we're not done with our sister. Our sister's going to give us some more details. We're going to talk about this conscious music, right? However, if you are enjoying this episode just as well as I am, please show your support today by texting the word donate to 937-313-2466. And if you are enjoying all of the episodes here on Closing the Gap broadcast, you can donate as well. It's scrolling right down on the screen. You guys can donate at the email below. I love you all. Now let's get back to today's episode. All right, Sister Akilah. So I seen up here we had a question. My sister Trinicia, she asked, what other music would you like to tap into if possible?
I love reggae. That's my favorite. That's probably my favorite. I don't know if it's my favorite genre because I just really love music in general.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I would actually perform because I don't have the accent. So, but I love the instrumental. I love the beats. I love the vibe. She's trying to out talk me if you can hear the baby. But yeah, so I really love reggae. Give me a second.
Yes. Listen, our children, they want their attention now.
Look, I'm like, bring it down. But yeah, so reggae music is a big one. I really enjoy that. What else? But that's hip hop and R&B. I mean, I already do that, but I don't think I would really venture out off into anything else. I'm not big on like rock or anything. I do enjoy almost it's almost like a pop kind of like, okay, so I don't really know how to explain. I think it's kind of like techno, but it's not necessarily techno. It's almost like what's that? I don't know if you know the genre. I might have to look it up. But
Mhm.
you know that more like house music. So house music it kind of somewhat sounds like techno, but it's not. So I would do house music for sure. I really like and so okay, so for those who might not know what type of house music I'm talking
I
about,
was like, huh?
if you know like the LGBTQ community and how they do all their like dancing and posing when they're doing their like maybe fashion shows or whatever, and they're kind of going down the runway with that type of music that's kind of like almost like a
Yeah.
type of music. And RuPaul, he has some songs like "You Better Work, Cover Girl, Work It Girl, Do
Yeah.
Your Thing," like that type of vibe music. I actually am gonna do music like that
Yes.
because I love the vibe of like empowerment anthems, and I think that type of music is really really good, especially when it comes to like fashion shows. And that we're bringing in a new world, so we're going to have things like fashion shows, which we already have. We're going to have so many things that uplift the woman, and so I think that type of music is really a cool like theme music for those type of events. And so I really like that type of music. So I would say house music. That's what I would venture into.
I have never heard of house music before. I am going to tap into that. I love it. Oh my gosh. And I actually want to mention we have a brother here with my brother Jay Vex. Brother Jay Hex, he's down here in Dayton. Oh my gosh. They do reggae. The music is fire. So definitely check them out, sister Akilah.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes. So that brings me to my next question. I kind of was thinking, um, I think I really think about that a lot when it comes to trying to go into a space where you are not, you're in the world, but you're not of the world. And when we have our generation that has been caught up in a certain music, and then when you're trying to raise the mindset of our people through conscious music, the words, the lyrics, right? It seems like, some people may have difficulties in their area because it's not agreeable to what the world is saying the good music is, right? We don't want to shame our sisters. We got the Glorilla, the Megan the Stallions, we got the Cardi B's, and we love our sisters. Okay, I love my sister. Hey, sometimes it be like, okay, but but there's a balance within that, right? So I wanted to ask you, like, what challenges have you faced as an artist dedicating to creating conscious music, and how did you overcome them?
The only challenge is exactly what you just said, the mainstream being so loud when it comes to the overall support that they get, versus people who are not backed by big labels and not backed by the machine. That's what they call it in the music industry, the machine that pushes these people and these artists out and make sure that they're on all the platforms, make sure they're in your face and on the radio at all times. When you don't have that as a backing, that's really the only thing that is a I guess you could say a downer, you know what I mean? And so that's the only thing that I ran into, because in truth, there's nothing that can stop you. There's nothing that can stop your energy. So I've never been the type that's that even complains about that, because I know that if I were to be doing all that I can the way I'm supposed to be doing it, none of that would matter. Allah will put me exactly where I'm supposed to be, because this is our time. This is the righteous time. So it's a matter of me just working harder. And it's a matter of the people's taste and the people's minds having to collectively raise. You know, the vibration as a collective has to raise enough for people to start gravitating towards better music, more righteous music, some say more conscious music. So it does take the collective to move as a whole. However, I think we're in that time where if you present it right, the collective will respond properly, because I noticed that the people, they are really starting to, if you notice, they're starting to say that, oh, this is too raunchy, this is too this, or like, I'll never forgive y'all for making so and so famous, you know. So we see a lot of that. So the people are becoming more and more dissatisfied with what's going on right now. And so we're getting to that point where, and again, it takes extremes, right? You have to have an extreme over here to be completely filthy, and then so that when you start to shine, it's like that light casting out the darkness. So Allah, God, is allowing for the music to get as bad as possible, lyrically and energetically, so that the people can eventually say, okay, I'm 100% dissatisfied. What else can I hear? I'm tired of this. I don't want this for my children, blah, blah, blah. So it has to get really, 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 really bad first. And that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing the lowest of the low when it comes to how we're presenting ourselves in hip hop. And then once it gets so low, that's when the people as a collective will demand better music, better artists, better everything. And so if anything, waiting for that moment might be the only thing that's, you know, possibly annoying. But even in that, it's not annoying, because while we're waiting on the collective to do that, I'm actively evolving as well. So by the time they're ready, I'll be ready as well.
Hey, Sister Akilah, listen. You was already ahead of the game. So every time I do a show, y'all, I write notes. I like to listen, and then from there, you know, have questions, right? I had already said dissatisfied before you said that. I thought it before you said it, and I think that's exactly what it is, because because I was about to say something bad has to happen for people to like actually want to change or actually want to do something. And then the word dissatisfied came to my mind. And as you were saying, like, you know, sometimes we'd be like, how did that song even get on the air? Like, what? So it is coming to a point where our people are now being are getting more dissatisfied with the taste of music, the imagery of the women that we're seeing, because it's becoming played out. That's what I want to say. It's becoming played out. But like you said, I truly believe it's we when the whole collective become 100% dissatisfied, that is when we'll end up seeing a change. And with you doing the work now, the work right now, and when they want to come, like, man, I need to listen to something different, man. You're already ready. God has already prepared the floor for you, because, you know, maybe it wasn't in your lifetime before for you to raise up in great eminence with that statue of music, because we know what was going on at that time. But as God is elevating the world and elevating the minds of the people, and this big paradigm shift is happening, he'll raise you up, because now this is what our people are wanting. So you said dissatisfied. I said, there you go. Drop the mic. That's what it is.
We're tuned in. That's all. We're on the same wave. We're on the same brain wave. What you just said is really, really true. It's just a matter of being patient with the evolution process, not basically realizing that not only are you evolving, but everybody in the collective is evolving. And we're evolving to a point where everything is happening in the time that it's supposed to happen. All is well. And so when we think and we understand that concept of all is well, if I don't have to be frustrated. I know, okay, because recently Allah God put it in my mind to start learning the guitar. So now I'll have like my second guitar lesson, inshallah, next week. And so she also said she's going to teach me piano and guitar. So Allah wanted me in this time to evolve to a point where I'm even willing to learn something like guitar or piano, because years ago, if he would have raised me to eminence in front of everybody, I would not be playing no guitar or piano. And so maybe he's taking the time with his people to evolve them into a certain level, so that when it's time, we are going to shine like never before. We're going to be doing things that really sets us apart, because I don't know a whole lot of people. I see official MNIB. He's always supporting.
Yes.
I don't see a lot of people who are rapping and playing guitar or rap. You know what I mean? There are people who are rapping and playing guitar, but it's not a whole lot of them. So Allah is even setting apart his people, you know what I mean, to do things in a way where once he says, all right, it's go time, I'm about to put all eyes on you. I'm about to put all eyes on the righteous. I'm about to put all eyes on the light. I'm about to put all eyes on the Nation of Islam. I'm about to put all eyes on whoever is following my will. By the time he does that, you're going to be purified. You're going to be looking like the light in the darkness, but it takes time. So when people kind of ask me like, oh, is it frustrating that, Sexy Red is getting all this attention, but women who have a different message or a conscious message, they aren't as big as this artist or that artist. It's like, that's just the vibration that the people are on right now. If that's what they want, that's what they're going to buy. That's what they're going to lend their ear to. And there's nothing that I can do about that in the moment, except to continuously evolve into what God wants me to do. So I don't even have real judgment for those type of artists. In the past, I used to be very, very frustrated and just like annoyed, because I'm like, oh, they're killing our sisters' minds. But now I'm like, Allah is allowing this for a reason. So if everything happens with his active or permissive will, then why am I'm all up in arms? But it's like, it's going to serve a purpose, and it's all going to work out for the greater good. So I don't have to like everything, but I have accepted that as long as I evolve, then everything is going to happen in the proper order. And I don't have to feel slighted in any way as an artist who does music with a message.
There you go. You broke it down. I love it. I love that. Praise be to Allah. So I just wanted to give those who hopped on a shout out. Brother J is Hex. I'll call him Brother J. Peace and blessings, Sister Michelle. We got Brother Hashim. Okay, Brother Hashim. What's up? Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the show. Brother Khalid Roberts. And of course, our brother official MNIB hopped on the show as well. Praise be to Allah. Wow, this conversation is so beautiful.
A lot of people in the chat talking about how Chicago started the house music. I already knew Chicago was gonna come up in the comments and be like, "Yeah, that's a." Because when you think about, well, when I think about house music, I think about Chicago. I think about the East Coast. So like they were doing that in Baltimore too, and like just certain cities really kind of like push house music. So for sure, Matthew says, "Teach me the piano." When I learn, I might have to do some type of course on a YouTube or something. I don't know. You know,
Oh my
always
God. I'm not gonna lie, sis. I always wanted to play the piano. Like it's just something about like and my grandfather, like he stayed with the guitar. Like I remember I used to just like play with it, but I didn't know what I was doing. I'm just like,
right.
So it's just things like that. That's kind of like that type of music and sound. It really does something to your mind. Like, even just as I came into consciousness, like, I started listening to more classical music and more meditative music, and even just listening to the birds chirp in the summertime. I'm like, this is beautiful. Like I've never felt like this before, right?
Right, because there's sound healing bowls. There's so many different things when it comes to sound and how it can heal you. And the guitar, I mean, I did not realize how difficult it is to play a guitar and sing or rap at the same time. That's literally like trying to like pat your stomach, rub your head, speak Spanish all in one. So those artists who are playing the guitar and playing the piano, so somebody like an Alicia Keys, the fact that she can play like that and sing at the same time, once you start learning an instrument, you have a much greater appreciation for artists who know how to play an instrument and sing at the same time. It's almost like it feels impossible once you start, but after a while you get it, and then you just have, it does something to the brain where it's almost like learning multiple languages. So if you know how to speak Spanish and Mandarin and all this type of stuff, what it does is it elevates your brain, and it expands your mind in a way. And I know there's something scientific about it, but when you do that, you're really opening up different portals in your mind. So y'all better have respect for them people who know how to play instruments and sing. That is not easy. Try it, and you'll find out real quick.
When you said the guitar is patting your head, like, yeah, like I can only imagine, because
It's
like
no joke.
of course with practice, my sister, I seen you've been doing the guitar thing, so I'm so proud of you. So yes, keep that going.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So I have another question here for you. Now, how can listeners use conscious music as a tool for personal growth and a possible collective change?
Ask that one more time.
Yes. So how can listeners, like people who listen to music, use conscious music as a tool for personal growth and a possible change for the collective?
So when you are elevating and when you're trying to evolve, a lot of times, at least I know for me, Black people, we really enjoy putting on a soundtrack, right? Like even if we're working, we'll put on some music in the background. When we're driving, we'll have music in the background. When we're just doing certain things, we'll have music in the background. If you are striving to elevate your mind and elevate your life, I suggest that you find music. That's my husband in the background. You find music. He's a DJ, by the way, so that's still music, right?
Perfect.
Yes, he
Wow.
has an album and everything. So we're keeping this music all in the house and in the family.
Yes.
But I would suggest that you find artists who are, presenting or putting out messages that you are striving to move toward. And that's very, very possible. And so you don't have to look at it as a shortage of music, right? So there's always going to be music that goes or is like a soundtrack to the life of that you're trying to choose. Like I said, there's going to be like I said, there's going to be music for the soundtrack if you want to get rowdy. There's going to be a soundtrack of music if you want to be happy. There's going to be soundtrack for music with music if you want to be angry. It's so many different soundtracks in life. And so for those who are trying to elevate, choose the soundtrack that goes along with elevation. So I would say choose music with a higher vibratory pitch. A lot of the key of A. So reggae, I believe they play in the key of like A major or something all the time, and it's a very high vibrational sound. And so find music that has high vibrational sounds, not a lot of bass heavy sounds that hit the lower chakra. Learn about your chakras so that you can hit the heart chakra or the chakras that are higher and not so much the lower. And so if you need to do some research, but you don't even really have to do that. You know the type of music that's hitting you in different places. So the type of music that's joyous, focus on that and have that be your soundtrack.
Yes. Those understanding your chakras, oh my gosh, is so important when it comes to that, because we're energetic beings, right? And there is certain music and certain frequencies that tune into certain portions of our chakras. I learned that on my journey of just healing in general. And you can actually just kind of like feel like those areas when you're listening to certain music, how it affects those areas. So I definitely believe so. I just wanted to give a shout out to Brother Sean, Assalamu alaikum, and my sister Ebony Dominic. Thank you for joining us today. So I have one more question before we wrap up today's show, right? So, Sister Akilah, how do you envision the future of conscious music and shaping the minds of the next generation?
I see the future of conscious music or music with a message or high vibrational music becoming a catalyst for major change in the soundtrack for the evolution of the entire collective. So I think that it'll be a soundtrack that inspires the entire collective. I think that it'll be a soundtrack that inspires the youth, and that the youth are going to take that type of music and form groups. I think we'll start seeing groups again. If you notice that we don't really have groups anymore, we used to always have like music groups, singing groups, rap groups. But now everybody is a solo artist. So I believe that groups are going to come back, and that's going to just catapult us into a high vibrational state as well. Because when you start doing things in groups, it's just even more energy. When you start going to concerts of people who have groups like the Jackson 5 and all of those type of groups, it's just another level of energy that you're getting from that music, from those artists. Because any collective, like what God says, 2 or 3 gathered in my name, I'm the third or the fourth, right? So when you start seeing these groups with conscious music, conscious rap, conscious R&B, conscious pop, that's, I think, going to really take over the music industry. And I think it's not going to be pushed by a machine. It's going to be, if anything, we're going to create a new machine, and those type of artists will be pushed by the people. And we don't have to worry about being signed to labels and all of that type of stuff. And if we are, it'll be labels that we create as the people, instead of like the labels that we see now who are promoting all this, I guess you could say, trauma music.
Yeah.
So that's where I see it. I see us elevating as a collective. I see different races, different religions as a collective doing music that elevates the people. But most importantly, I believe that the Black men and women of America will be the vanguard of that type of music, like we've always been the vanguard for music in general. So yeah, when I say the vanguard of it,
Yeah.
I would say the original people, because the original people have always been the vanguard of music. So that's Black people in Africa, Asia, wherever you are. But the Black man and woman of America, we were the vanguard of hip hop. And so I believe that hip hop will be made anew as well. So that's where I see us in the future.
I see it and I love it. I'm already seeing a different change in mindset of the people when it comes to music. Like we said it earlier, people are getting dissatisfied, and when people get dissatisfied, they are going to want a change, even within their self and also as a collective, right? So praise be to Allah. Sister Akilah, my girl, right? Hey, I just want to give my sister a shout out because a few months ago I had my son working with her, doing some schooling. We will be back soon with my sister Akilah. She did such a great job. So I just want to give my sister a shout out. Do you still like have that option for people? I know, me and you
Right.
set up, but
usually in the summer. I have a summer program where if you put your babies in my summer program, I'll teach your children. My specialty is pre-K, kindergarten, first grade. But right now I'm teaching first and second grade on virtually. So if you are interested in having your child be taught by me, just send me an email, akilah.nehanda@gmail.com. And we can just work something out when it comes to like scheduling. But for the most part, usually in the summer, I'll open something up or where I promote. So we'll see. But I'm always open to teaching the little ones. And yes, I miss Amir. So
he does too. Yes, he does too. He had when we left, he had mentioned your name a couple times. I'm like, okay.
He was listening.
Akilah, learning, Akilah. It's okay. We're gonna be back. We coming back. So, Sister Akilah, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today to discuss this well-needed topic: rhythms of awakening, elevating minds through conscious music. Right. I also want to give a special thank you to my healing tribe for joining us today. I pray this episode was informative, valuable, and of course, the number one thing, healing to you all. Also, be sure to share, like, follow, and most importantly, subscribe. I'm trying to get my subscribers up on YouTube, y'all. I mean, let me get to 1,000. Come on now. Facebook can't be the only place y'all see me.
Yes, get my sister to 1,000.
Come on now. Go and get me to 1,000. Okay. Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Healing with Angelica. Also, be sure to follow Closing the Gap broadcast on YouTube as well, YouTube and Facebook, for more broadcasts from them and from me as well. And also so we can continue to spread the light of healing to others in need. Also, if you are ready to start your healing journey and don't know where to start, Healing with Angelica is here to assist you to get started on your healing journey today with my one-on-one The Healing Journey program. Text the word READY to 937-313-2466. Within that, you will get a free 15-minute consultation so we can see how can we start this healing journey, right? It's time to heal. It's time to evolve. It's time to elevate. Stop waiting, right? Also, within that, you will get a free The Healing Journey checklist to get you started. And also, my new ebook, Thrive, is now available for purchase. My goal is to get this ebook to over 100 young women and girls by the end of 2025. So if you are ready to learn how to reconnect with self and God, get your copy today by texting the word Thrive to 937-313-2466. Also, if you are ready to elevate your brand and business, how about partner with Healing with Angelica to promote your brand or business today? Text the word ASK to 937-313-2466. Sister Akilah, before we end today's show, do you have any closing remarks for our audience today? And please, please, please leave us your information. Where can we find you? Where can we listen to your music at? We need to know.
So yes, the only thing I leave with is accept your own and be yourself. And you can follow me on all platforms @Akilah Nehanda.
Yes, yes, yes. Praise be to Allah. Peace and blessings, Brother Chad. Thank you for tuning in. I know you came late, but it's okay. You know, you can go back and look at the show. Again, shout out to Closing the Gap broadcast. My brother Chad, or brother Minister James is holding it down. Sister Starla, we love you all. Thank you for the great work that you guys do. And I just want to say, hey, if you didn't hear it today, I want you to know that Sister Angelica loves you. And I'm so grateful and grateful we are on this healing journey together. And again, you guys, thank you for showing up. Thank you for coming. And we leave you all as we came. Peace, healing, and
Peace.
life.